So we've created our parts, we've uploaded them to groups, and we've assigned the desired materials to those groups. We're now ready to enter SOLIDWORKS Cell assembly mode. Now, simply as a point of comparison here, I want to take a look at a project that's more or less complete. And this project consists of a table with a top group with 3 possible geometric permutations: oval, round, and rectangular. And then a leg group with 3 possible geometric permutations, kind of a fancy leg, a rectangular leg, and a round leg. Now, you'll notice that this leg has a point centered at the top of the leg, and you'll notice the tabletop has 4 points at each of the corners where the leg is supposed to be located. We create these points in SOLIDWORKS Cell by going to the Parts tab and choosing the option to add these attachment points. Then, when we go to assembly mode, we can create these links of these points between our components. You can see there's a section here called points where we can establish these links. The end result here is that when we're examining our cell project and we switch between the oval table and the rectangular table, the legs automatically jump to the new location. Now, I'm simply showing you this as a point of comparison. We will not be using points in our example, and the reason why is because the speaker box is not changing sizes and there are not common parts that are jumping from one location to another. But if you ever find yourself in that situation, the correct solution will be to work with points in SOLIDWORKS Cell. With that out of the way, let's go back and take a look at our SOLIDWORKS Cell environment. So here you can see we're looking at the components for our speaker box. And each of these components does have a point on it. And that point is located at the origin of the assembly when we published the SOLIDWORKS Cell parts. So for example, the top has a point down here, point 1. The right side has a point here, point 1. The left side has a point here, point 1. All at the location of the origin from the original assembly in SOLIDWORKS. The nice part about this is that we can jump to the tab that says Assembly, and we can click the button that says Create WCS Assembly. This is going to take all of our groups, it's going to take the 1 point from all of our groups, and it's going to tile that 1 point on top of one another, essentially recreating our assembly for us in one single click. Pretty cool, huh? Now what we want to do is we want to go down to our section at the bottom here. You may have to scroll down and examine the different groups and the different material options for these groups. You can see here that we can click between the 2 different materials for the bottom panel. We can go to the top panel and we can click between the 2 different materials. We can go to the right panel and click between the 2 different materials. The left panel, click between the 2 different materials. The rear panel, click between the 2 different materials. And finally, the speaker panel, and we can click between the 3 different materials that are available there. We can also click on these components in the graphics area. So I can click here, for example, and change the material that's assigned to the top panel. I think it's fair to say that it would make sense and make for a great customer experience if the customer only had to change the material on one of the panels and all of the panels would automatically change their materials. For example, everything should change to oak or everything should change to walnut. The way that we do that in SOLIDWORKS Cell is through what's called links, and we're going to work with links in the next video.